Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Let me get on some further light here so it doesn't look like we're in a basement in Berlin, 1945. 1 second. We have made light. How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. LSU grab a Saturday commitment from former tight end. Oh, God, I dropped my LSU cup. From former Texas A&M tight end Donovan Green. This is LSU's second tight end pickup of the offseason transfer portal. This is a fantastic move here from LSU, really making sure they sealed the deal with this guy. And now it makes you wonder, was this move predicated, and or does Donovan know where LSU are moving in, the direction LSU are moving in as far as tight end coach, the future of the head man of the tight end position on the LSU roster after Slade Nagel's departure? Who will take that job? We'll be talking about some info we've received regarding that. But Donovan Green, big. This is another big move by LSU. Bauer Sharp came in, and really after Mason Taylor, left. Okay, you got Bauer Sharp, former OU guy. Okay, he had a pretty damn good year last year. Okay, from statistics, from everything you look at. Okay, he had a pretty good year. But what really you also have Trey Green, but you're going to be without the greatest tight end in LSU history, Mason Taylor. I mean, Richard Dixon is right there as well. I mean, 3 touchdown catches in a national championship game. You've got to have him right there. But this is a season where you're going to have to replace the greatest tight end in LSU's history, right? So, for me, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer move. LSU needed to just stack the tight end position. One guy and Trey Green, that's not enough. Because in the end, are you really going to be utilizing Trey Green in all of these, packages where he's an inline tight end? Are you really going to do that? I think if you did that and relied on him to be blocking like that, even if he could, say he could do it brilliantly, like he showed on a few snaps against Baylor. If he could do that in the guts of the SEC through the exhaustion of a college football playoff run, like if he could do that, I still think you would be misusing him because he's so dominant on the outside or in the slot position. It's you cannot be using him as an inline tight end. You need guys who are used to that, who are used to blocking in the trenches, know these blocking schemes, but also can make plays out of the backfield. Donovan Green is one of those guys. Let's for people who may not, we've seen photos that Donovan Green took on LSU this last year. And Donovan Green, he's a player that I'm really interested about because this guy's 6'4", and he wears the number 18 at A&M. He's probably going to be like, hey, give me the 18. Hey, actually, bro, you have to earn that number. He's out of Texas, this kid. Out of Texas. Commits to Texas A&M. This was his sophomore year. 6'4", 265. This dude is an absolute tank, but that's the thing. He did not play for entire seasons due to injury. He played against LSU in 2022, had a touchdown against LSU, 2 catches, 13 yards, career high of 3 catches, 50 yards against number 10 Arkansas. Caught 2 touchdowns in that freshman year in 2022. 2023 that is not even on the books. So I really want to know where Donovan Green went 2023. We can probably find the information out. But then goes back, transfers. After this 2024 season where he doesn't play due to injury. What a weird... Okay, so it looks like he was injured for like late offseason 2023 all through 2024. Let's get that right. Let's make sure if that's correct here. But Donovan Green, this guy, not even half as like accomplished or as productive as Bauer Sharp has been, but I think he's a good player, and I think he's another piece that you can add to the puzzle. And LSU have the spots. It's okay if this guy. I mean, basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's okay if this guy does not turn into an absolute hit for LSU. This might be a depth play, but that's up to Donovan and the way he develops, because it could absolutely be that next towering, who Kamorion Pimpton could have been if Kamorion Pimpton had the size, had the thickness, had the girth to him, not just the height. But Donovan Green added to LSU's already impressive transfer class, where some people got upset when I called out On3, who I love dearly. I love On3 dearly. I think On3 are probably the best in the game right now, but still, they had LSU's transfer class rated 7th. I had to call that out for what it was. I thought it was stupid. A few people got really sensitive about it, thought I was like personally going at them because they work at On3, but I was like, I didn't know you made the list, and they didn't. So it was kind of like, well, why are you taking this personally? It was just criticism of the list. So LSU's transfer class hasn't really been ranked too highly, but anyone who knows football, anyone who's paying any attention, knows this is an absolute monster class that Brian Kelly and company are developing, and it has no sign of slowing down yet. Because Tamarcus Cooley, just fresh off of a visit to LSU, as you know, we've been keeping you up to date with that. On our Friday video, we gave you, he's very intense, introspective detail that he was going to be going to Kentucky, but had Kentucky on a visit. Sorry, I should have said that. Going to Kentucky on a visit with his brother, but had gotten rid of his Missouri visit right after his LSU visit. So it said to me that, hey, I'm going to go with my brother to Kentucky. We've already got this kind of planned, but I don't need to go to Mizzou anymore because I just saw LSU. If he had done that after Ole Miss, it would be like, ooh, maybe Ole Miss is in the lead here. You do something like that after you go visit LSU, it kind of makes me think LSU is in the lead. We have tried to get as close to this situation as we can possibly be. And from what I'm finding out, that in all intents and purposes right now, you're looking at an LSU versus Ole Miss kind of battle here. And for the safety to Marcus Cooley. But LSU should have the lead here. LSU should have LSU should be in the front runner spot here. Don't you think? I mean, it's hard to get a read on this situation because I think it is one where cards are being kept very close to the vest from all sides. And that has been very obvious from the beginning. That has been very, very plain to see from the jump, that this is a situation where everyone's keeping things very close to the vest. Where's Donovan Green going? You know, it was kind of up in the air all over the place. And now with DeMarcus Cooley, you've got another guy where cards are close to the vest as well. You've got two different guys that was kind of situation, is this hard to read? Where's this going? At some point, you knew very quickly this guy does not want to Donovan Green does not want to stay at Texas A&M. And it seems like LSU cannot stop being undefeated when it comes to tight ends lately. And so it seemed like a no-brainer where he was going to go. It was just, well, LSU is a bunch of guys already. Bauer Sharp, Trey'Dez Green. Will he be okay with that? Obviously, Donovan is in a spot where he has a lot to prove himself. And so I don't think he was like, no, I'm a superstar. I need to be guaranteed to start. How come I'm not guaranteed to start? Deal's off the table. You know, he didn't really have that type of leverage in this deal. And you're talking about a dude who's missed a few seasons. But still, Donovan Green and now DeMarcus Cooley, both situations that, you know, they were kind of up in the air for a second there. And DeMarcus Cooley is still a situation, for me at least, that it seems like LSU should be in the lead. But Ole Miss are right there. They absolutely need DeMarcus Cooley. They've been decimated at their secondary spots. Ole Miss, they're screwed if they don't get a guy like DeMarcus Cooley, because then they're going to be in a very desperate. You have to pay top dollar for every single guy. Plus, these guys are going to actually want to go to Oxford. You know, Sonny Styles, is he going to want to go to Oxford? All these guys are going to be up for bids. At Kobe Black, probably, out of Texas. A few guys out of Georgia, maybe a guy or two out of Notre Dame. There's a name I will not reveal because we've been asked not to. One of these four teams that was in this Final Four, there was a player on one of these teams that has a very good chance of coming to LSU. His visit hasn't been announced, though. I'm like, when is this visit going to be announced? When can I start unloading the material I've already written and prepared, but had to be, silent about this visit? Can I just do this? And so maybe that's the silent commit Miscana has been referring to for a while. I'm not exactly sure. But there is heavy interest with LSU with this dude. DeMarcus Cooley, go circling back to him. LSU aren't in a situation where they have to get DeMarcus Cooley. They have to, but this cycle, this transfer portal cycle, LSU have not missed on any of the guys that they were like, we must get this guy. We must sign Patrick Payton. We must get Josh Thompson. We must get, Braylon Moore. Nick, we're going to get Nick Anderson. Watch your ass. We're going to get Nick Anderson. All of those guys. LSU, Patrick Payton, these guys, LSU did not let them leave campus basically without a commitment. Now, DeMarcus Cooley, the situation is different because of the visit plans And so it's not like he was just going to issue some commitment right this second and then still go on these visits. The transfer portal is a little bit different than the world of recruiting, but still, you really want to see a resolution from that now so that LSU can move on if they have to and get the highest priority possible target you could get as these guys commit to the portal. They only have, I think, 48 hours, something like that. We read the rules on one of our shows recently about the transfer portal. Once your team is eliminated in the playoffs or some amount of days after your coach is fired or leaves the job, you have a chance to enter the portal for a certain amount of days. And so that's why the portal keeps opening and then closing. And it seems like, why is this getting extended? It's because some of these guys didn't have a chance to be in the original portal because they were still, playing. So LSU are going to have, multiple bites at the apple here before spring to bring in more talent, say at defensive line, interior defensive line, which in my opinion, they still need a few guys. Interior offensive line and the tackle spots. You really, just because the Baylor game looked good, I don't care. Dave Aranda is a defensive coordinator who isn't known for bringing a lot of heat. His leading sacker this last year for Baylor had 5.5 sacks. And I might even be giving him one. It might even be 4.5. But not a lot of pressure was coming. And so those guys were able to sit back, and it was up to Nuss to dissect coverages and be able to sidestep pressures when they came, the 3-man fronts and stuff like that that would break through every so often. They had a very easy night, is my point. They're firing on all cylinders. Joe Sloan called a great game. Nuss got the ball out quick. They had a great night. They're not going to have it that easy, and so we cannot just relax on our laurels thinking like, hey, as much as I love Tyree Adams and think that Tyree Adams is a really good player, and he just hasn't had any opportunity or platform yet in his LSU career to show that he could be that next replacement for Will Campbell, that next replacement for Emory Jones. I still am worried. Even though I believe in a guy like Tyree Adams, even though I believe in a Weston Davis, even though I believe that Paul Mubenga at least grew and was able to improve from a really bad game against Florida, really bad game against Alabama. Just heinous performances against A&M. Just diabolical. Him and DJ Chester. But you saw them grow and able to come back from it against Vanderbilt, against Oklahoma. But still, those are two teams LSU should be beating the brains in from Vanderbilt and Oklahoma when you're talking about those teams and the way that they played and the shape they were in last year. LSU is at a higher standard than hey, let's just be fine with having a couple guys here. We had one available center all of last year. I keep bringing that up because it's a very alarming thing that LSU has to figure out here. Not just center, but it's like an emblem for the whole thing. Roster management wasn't just in the shitter because Coach O and the 38 scholarships and all that stuff. That was, 3 years ago now. Bordering on 4 years ago now. These roster management issues as of late are on Kelly. And he's had to figure it out. He was going after quantity in the portal instead of quality. Just getting a ton of bodies in there because he had to make up numbers. I get why that was his portal policy in that first year. I understand that. The second year, you needed to go after and get some real diamonds. And they got a couple good guys, but the J.K. Johnsons, the Jair Browns, those guys, do they even play a meaningful snap at LSU, an impactful snap at LSU? No. Jalen Lee, he had a fumble recovery, and that was it in his entire LSU career. there were players that LSU wasted some big spots on and totally misread their potential. And that's going to happen in the transfer portal. You're not going to get them all right. You make the move regardless because there's more spots than there's ever been on rosters. There's more spots that are available, scholarships that are available, but also it's so competitive, and injuries are such a key part of the game that are just a reality of the game, that you have to load these rosters up and you have to be ready. You have to have contingency plans in case guys go down. LSU, when Garrett Dellinger went down, when Miles Frazier even went down momentarily, we were screwed. When Charles Turner went to the NFL draft, we knew DJ Chester was the guy in waiting, but I think it was an absolute abomination that LSU did not. Oh my God, my computer falling. I think it's an absolute abomination that LSU did not go and get a second center to at least compete against him, at least have some competition. And no, Cohen Eccles, a true freshman, who just taking some snaps there isn't competition. That's a body, in a position he shouldn't be in. Like, we needed true centers. We could not just fit every guy into, hey, you're versatile enough. It looks, can you add 40 pounds or do this? Like, and then you turn a guy away from what were his strengths that could help your team, and now he's going into a position he's not supposed to be playing in, and he's costing you games. It's a huge net negative because you've taken one player who could have been great for one position group, and you've taken him to another, and now it's completely been a net negative in that position group and been a detriment when someone else could have been in there, probably could have been playing. It is it's kind of a boomerang effect of clusterfuck, like, that's why trying to get so cute with these position changes and trying to be all cute. Oh, he can play this, and you got to be careful doing that, especially when it's talking about the offensive line and in the trenches, because guys can get dominated. Quarterbacks can have free shots right at them. This is not a joke anymore. You saw Will Campbell having to take one false step inside just because he was so worried about Paul Mubenga getting blown off the line that it allowed an edge rusher to go around Will Campbell, the best left tackle in the country. It allowed that to happen. How rare is that? And a free shot, hell-bent for leather, everything going, all the momentum in the world, free shot on Nussmeier. Dangerous. Multiple times, too. This is not a joke when that type of shit happens. And we've seen it too many times with the offensive line. So LSU, I'm really worried about the offensive line next year. I'm not in a spot where I'm like, I'm really worried. Oh my God, I'm really worried. But like, in my opinion, there is so much unproven, just so much unproven in that room, and you have to find a way to get a few more bodies in there. And I'm not meaning like bodies as in just get a guy. I'm meaning get some damn good offensive linemen in there. Josh Thompson, he fits the bill. Great pickup. Braylon Moore fits the bill. I think we at least need two more. And they've got to be tackles. You've got to get, take that back. I think you need to get one more tackle, and then you need to get another guard here. You need to get another interior guy. And that's kind of how I see that position. LSU are in a spot where they have a few targets for that O-line position, but I have not had that information revealed to me yet of who they're going to pursue next offensive line-wise after Josh Thompson. But as soon as we are filled in on that information, you'll be the first to know. Tamarcus Cooley, as we said before, will be visiting Kentucky with his brother, but this is something that a commitment could come any day. It doesn't have to wait for him to go to Kentucky on that visit. It could happen before that visit, cancel that visit, boom, and I wouldn't be shocked. In fact, there's times I'm on this show with you guys and I'm like looking for like, oh shit, did I just get a text about this happening? Like it's hilarious how many times that will happen with the goings on at LSU in the transfer portal, especially this portal. How many times I've been on this show and I've had updates sent to me like that. It's been hilarious. Tight end coach information. Tight end coach information. That was something we were privy to. Now, you've heard Tommy Rees's name spoken since Brian Kelly took the job at LSU. Since Brian Kelly took the job at LSU, it was Tommy Rees will be the offensive coordinator. Tommy Rees is going to come from Notre Dame. He's going to follow him to LSU. That didn't happen. He stayed in there for a year at Notre Dame, then went to Alabama with Nick Saban, went to a national championship game, got absolutely destroyed by Georgia, and then was summarily fired, went his separate ways, and has been tight ends coach of the Cleveland Browns now, Tommy Rees. And Tommy Rees is a very controversial figure in college football. A lot of people like him and think he's a worthy coordinator. He's a worthy offensive mind. And then there's some who just cannot stand the guy and think he's out of his depth. He too big for his britches. Not a chance for him to really be a success. Did not want him at LSU. People were screaming bloody murder. Do not bring him to LSU. Do not bring him to LSU. And Brian Kelly had to have heard those to some degree. He didn't give a shit. He wanted Tommy Rees at LSU come hell or high water. He wanted Tommy Rees at LSU. He didn't get his wish, though. And thank God for that, because then Mike Denbrock came in and we won a Heisman and with Jaden Daniels, and then Jaden Daniels sets up Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors goes off and comes one vote shy of being in the Blitnikoff race, which, that should have also featured Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. should have at least been in the top 3 for that Blitnikoff, well, top 4. It was a joke, that Blitnikoff that Malik lost. But Mike Denbrock comes in and does all that. And then now Denbrock has taken Notre Dame to a national championship game with Tanner Riley, or what was his name? Riley Leonard. Yeah. Tanner Riley, that's a neighbor of mine from growing up. Riley Leonard, who is not a good passer. Very rugged passer, if we can say that, and is just he's a dual threat guy. He's a feet guy. So it's very clear Mike Denbrock and his pedigree really relies on dual threat capabilities, rushing capabilities. And without him there, who knows where maybe Jaden Daniels doesn't get the development he needed. Maybe Jaden Daniels doesn't have the right playbook to take him to that next level. It's these decisions are such a damn big deal. These coaching hires, the guys you put into position to lead your team, the guys you put in position to start at quarterback, is such a damn big deal. And that's why I feel so good about, Garrett Nussmeier. I feel so safe about Garrett Nussmeier being our quarterback. I feel so good about that. I feel like LSU has a chance to score a touchdown, compete on every play. He's going to feed the right guys. He's going to make crazy plays happen out of nowhere. He's going to do things that you don't see every day because he's a gamer and he's a baller. And that's the type of, he's a different level. And that's the type of That's the type of character LSU needs on this team. And that's who they're getting out of the portal. That's who they brought in the recruiting, in this last recruiting class and in 2024. We just put out a 2-part piece on our top freshman players from 2024. And this article really went in deep. We had an awesome class this last year in 2024. An awesome class. Guys who were able to come in and deliver in big moments in big games, okay, against top opponents. There were some moments with some mistakes too, of course. They're freshmen. The point is, you have that group, okay, plus you're bringing in a really top, just almost bringing some drooling from people when you're talking about a DJ Pickett at corner, and you're seeing, Derek Stingley Jr. do what he just did: 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble in a playoff game. Outrageous, a historic playoff performance from Derek Stingley Jr. 5 pass breakups. Ridiculous. And DJ Pickett just excites you for what could be. And, PJ Woodland's one of those guys, too. Caden Durham at running back. Over 1,000 total yards. Devon Keys had a true freshman breakout year. 31 tackles, 3 pass breakups, 2 TFLs, 2 dropped interceptions. He could have had 3 interceptions this year. 1.5 sacks, 1 interception, return for a touchdown, and 1 fumble recovery. What a hell of a year from Devon Keys. Trey Green, 4 touchdowns, all inside the red zone. Why were we not throwing the ball to this guy all year? And then you got Aaron Burrell, who told LSU Odyssey a while ago that he is being prepped to be a full-time kicker, kicking field goals, kicking off, doing all of it. And you saw him booting 60-yard field goals in pregame before this bowl game. Wow, kicked off. Just crazy. He had the highest touchback percentage of anyone in the country for most of the year. Just returns on 8.1 kickoff attempts. Just ridiculous. And so LSU have a hell of a freshman class coming in, a hell of a freshman class that is now going to be, they're now going to be sophomores or redshirt freshmen, depending on how much they played. It is a very exciting future, but they need the pieces of the puzzle, the veteran pieces of the puzzle, to make this a team that can take it over the top. That's why you got a guy like Patrick Payton. That's why you went into the portal and got a guy like Nick Anderson. That's why you went in the portal and got a guy like Braylon Moore. That's why you went into the portal and got a guy like Josh Thompson. That's why you went and got a guy like Mansour Delane in the portal. And that's another position. Corner does not have enough bodies out there, does not have enough depth, does not have enough high-end talent. It's a spot I'm still worried about. DJ Pickett is going to be a great one. PJ Woodland, Ashton Stamps, they've been thrown into the fire. They've had developmental years. They're they're going in the right direction, even though they've given up some big plays at times, had some poor moments. All in all, I liked what I've seen from them. It's just, can they take that next step? Can they survive the fall camp and spring battles and where the coaches kind of see them? But they fight on every play. Mansour Delane, you brought in the transfer portal. He's likely going to start at one of those spots on the outside. Now, you really have to solve the safety position as well. But corner is sneaky in that you don't have much depth there. Mansour Delane, Ashton Stamps, PJ Woodland, DJ Pickett, a freshman. 4 guys. 4 guys. You can play Javian Toviano out there, but now we're hearing that he's going to be playing at safety this year. So why are we talking about going into the portal like crazy for a safety, like so hard that we're going to get 4 or 5 of them, as our targets? you need to back Toviano in one of those spots and then go get a few guys for the other spot. They can be a tandem as well. Take that back. You do need to load up on the safety position, whether Toviano is a likely starter or is highly favored by the staff or not. You really do need to load up at the safety spot. Take that back. So, you're looking at, you want at least one or two more corners at least in the portal. You're looking at least getting 3 more offensive linemen. You really desperately need at least 2, likely 3 safeties in the portal. Defensive tackle is still crying out for 1 or 2 more spots. LSU might have to process some more guys after spring. That's maybe the way around this, because LSU are in a spot where they absolutely are up against it roster-wise. And they have to take advantage of all of this talent available to them right now. They are on an absolute roll in the transfer portal. Don't stop. Keep rolling those dice. Keep getting those top talents. Go, 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 go. Don't stop. It seems like they can get anybody right now. So we're going to start getting prepped for Jaden Daniels and the Washington Redskins. Oh, I said it? Oh, my God. I'm going to get canceled. Playing against Tampa Bay, who Washington has literally played 4 times in our last playoff games. 4 times in ridiculous. We played them in 99. Max Johnson's dad, Brad, played in that game. We lost 14-13 in Tampa Bay. Last second field goal was wide into the sun. That was in the divisional playoff game. Washington had beat Detroit in the round previous. 2005, it was the game where Sean Taylor spat in. I'm trying to remember the guy's face, receiver's face, but he spat in this guy's face, gets ejected. In the wild card, we survived barely. In 2020, Taylor Heineke and the Washington play Tampa Bay harder, tougher, better than anyone else would in that entire Super Bowl run, including New Orleans and Kansas City, who would get destroyed and pasted by Tampa Bay in that Super Bowl run with Brady and Gronk. So Washington, Tampa Bay, it's been kind of hit or miss with us, but they've always been close. They've always been pretty entertaining games. For me, Tampa Bay is always an old nemesis, just like Seattle. Washington played Seattle a bunch as well in the playoffs. And now here's the 4th time. We've played Tampa Bay now more times in the playoffs than anybody. And Jaden Daniels is our quarterback. It's a beautiful thing. And here's hoping we'll draft more Washington players. Washington will draft more LSU players. Everybody, we'll be talking to you guys later. Peace.